These are the 21 problems that I see holding real estate agents back from reaching their ultimate potential and that cause most real estate agents to fail. So in part one, in today's video, I'm going to go through the first 10, and then next week we'll follow that up with the next 11. So why would I make a video talking about the problems in our business? Because in my experience in coaching real estate agents, if you know what the biggest issues are, the biggest problems, the things that are getting in the way of success, well, I mean, common sense tells us then potentially you know what to avoid. Or potentially if you fall victim to one of these things in this video, you know what to do to get out of that situation and start doing different things. So let's jump right into it. And these are in no order of importance. They are all equal, okay? So number one on the list I wrote down is not having clear, defined goals. Now, when you hear that, you say, yeah, goals, schmoles. Well, here's the reality. Most people, they're not clear on what they want. They cannot tell you specifically what they want. Hey, what are you looking to accomplish? And they give you some vague answer. Well, it's even worse when you talk to real estate agents. Like, hey, Bob, Sue, why did you get in this business and what are you looking to accomplish this year specifically? Well, you see, what it is, and they start going down this rabbit hole, but they don't have clear, defined goals. And without having those clear, defined goals, how in the world are you going to know whether or not you're on track or if you're on pace or if you're headed the right direction? The answer is you don't. And without having those clear goals, there's no purpose on a day-to-day basis. Number two, I wrote, not having a written business plan, okay? Having goals is one thing. The business plan should outline the how. How are you going to accomplish the goals that you've set? It's one thing to have goals on a piece of paper to say, oh yeah, I've got all my goals written down, Brandon, right here. Okay, great. Let's see the written business plan that outlines the actions you must take on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis so that you can accomplish those goals. And yet again, when you look at most real estate agents that are struggling or failing, they don't operate from a business plan yet. All the top agents, all the agents making 2, 3, 4, 500,000 plus in income per year, all operate from a business plan. So the question is, do you have a business plan? If you don't have one yet this year, that's okay. Let's get you one. Let's put something in place so you know exactly what you need to do on a daily basis to hit your goals. Number three, the third problem I see is agents are not working on their sales skills. Now, you know and I know that the vast majority of our industry does not come from a direct sales business. This poses a massive issue because whether you agree with this or not, the facts are the facts. You are now, as a real estate agent, in a direct sales business. Don't believe me, like I say all the time, pull out your license. What does it say? Oh, that's right, real estate sales person. So this poses a massive issue for people that don't come from a direct sales background, which is probably 90% of our industry that are now in a sales position. Not only do they not understand what that means, but if you're in a sales business, it's very much like a sport. It's a performance-driven business, which means you need skills. And here's a little, let me share this with you. You gotta work on your sales skills, okay? You gotta know what to say. And more importantly, you gotta know how to say what you say in order to get buyers and sellers to sign contracts. If you have no skills and you can't articulate the value you bring to a relationship, why in the world would somebody hire you over the next agent? And the answer is they're not. They're going to hire the agent that has the best skills. Number four, they don't operate from a schedule. Now, I know this is probably one of the biggest areas, biggest weaknesses with real estate people because all of us are on a 1099 not a W-2. Most of us come from not only a non-sales background, but we come from a W-2 structured environment that has high levels of accountability. You don't show up, you get fired. Then you become a real estate agent. And then you become a 1099 independent contractor, which states that you can do whatever you want. Nobody can no longer tell you what you want to tell you what to do. Now you're your own boss. Well, for many, and if we're being upfront and we're being truthful and we're being honest with one another, that's a huge problem for you. Because if you don't have structure and you don't have accountability, which we'll talk about in another video, that poses massive issues because for most people, they take the path of least resistance. And so when you don't operate from a schedule and you don't have a strict schedule, you find yourself working 7 days a week. You find yourself being spread out very, very thin. You find yourself saying yes to everything because you don't have a specific focus. And that is what leads to burnout. And never forget, the stricter your schedule, the more freedom you'll have. And for the most part, many people get into this industry thinking the exact opposite. I want freedom. I want to be able to do what I want. I want to be my own boss. I want to do what I want when I want. Well, the only thing that gets you freedom from is income. That's the fastest way to go broke. It's the fastest way to find yourself out of the industry. Number 5, I wrote down, they don't spend enough time prospecting or in lead generation activities, okay? Your job as a real estate salesperson is to prospect and generate new leads, new business, and new appointments daily. Now, again, these are all the 21 problems. If you look at your schedule or you go follow the average real estate agent around for a week, you're going to be shocked. You're going to say, wait a minute. Brandon said that in that video, our main focus as a real estate salesperson is to prospect and spend our time in lead generation. Matter of fact, I recommend spending at least 50% of your time in lead generation activities. And if you follow most agents around and you use a stopwatch and you do a little exercise for a week, you're going to find it's rare that real estate agents spend any time prospecting or any time in lead generation, but then are confused why they're not hitting their goals. Number 6, they don't have a follow-up system. So when they get a referral or they meet somebody at an open house or they generate a lead through prospecting, most agents that are struggling in the business don't have a follow-up system, so those leads fall through the cracks. There's no system for follow-up. They've got sticky notes everywhere. They have no organization, no approach to a system when it comes to following up with prospects and leads. And therefore, they lose out on opportunities. Therefore, leads are falling through the cracks. And as you know, and if you don't, 80% of your income is dependent on your ability to follow up with leads. 80% of your appointments, 80% of your contracts, 80% of your closings are going to come through multiple conversations with clients and with prospects and with leads, not one. And so therefore, you have to have a solid foundation or a solid follow-up system that you follow on a day-to-day basis so that you ensure you're not missing out on opportunities. Number 7, I wrote, they don't know the market. They're not studying the real estate market. They don't know the real estate market. And so therefore, they have a hard time articulating the market to buyers or sellers. And so they have a problem giving value. So when I talk about in these videos, giving people value, a large part of what I'm talking about there is your ability to analyze the marketplace and then articulate that to a prospect in a way that suggests you're an expert, that positions you as an expert. Because here's a little secret. Buyers and sellers think that you know the market. Buyers, sellers, your sphere of influence, friends, family, think that you're a master of the real estate market. But you and I know most agents don't know anything about the market. They don't know their absorption rate. They don't know their average list to sold price ratio. They don't know their average days on market per neighborhood. They don't know how many new listings are hitting the market, how many are selling, how many go under contract. And so therefore, when they're on a listing appointment, of course they don't get the listing because they cannot provide value. They cannot communicate in a way to a seller where the seller believes that they're hiring the right agent because they haven't given them enough confidence that they are the obvious choice. Okay, next, I wrote number 8. This is a big one. They don't have a unique value proposition. They don't have a unique value proposition. Brandon, what's a unique value proposition? It is something that differentiates yourself from the competition. And so when I ask a real estate agent this question, they always get super nervous. And I'm going to ask it to you now. Why would a seller hire you over another agent? And if you can't respond to that question with absolute conviction, with absolute confidence, with absolute specificity, you're going to be in trouble in this business. You need to spend time creating a unique value proposition. This is something we talk to our students in our coaching program about all the time when we're creating our resume. That resume and that unique value proposition has to position you as the obvious choice. The question I have for you watching this video is, what is yours? And if you don't have one, spend some time and develop that immediately. Number 9 is they avoid rejection. And you see this all the time. I mean, the reality is the money is on the opposite side of pain and rejection. Most real estate agents are avoiding rejection at all cost. They don't want to do anything that brings them uncomfort. They don't want to do anything that brings them pain. Certainly, they don't want to do anything that embarrasses them or puts their ego in a position to make them feel vulnerable, which prospecting, lead generation, meeting with people, door knocking, doing open houses, all set you up to deal with rejection. These are all things that lead to income in this business. But problem number 9 is real estate agents are doing anything and everything to avoid that rejection. Number 10, I wrote, they have an addiction to instant gratification. Now, we are in a business that we get in which the way we get paid is based on delayed gratification. Everything we do today, we don't get paid until 3 or 6 months in the future. Think about it. You have to go prospect. You've got to go generate business. Then it might take you a couple weeks to get an appointment. Then you go on that appointment. Takes you a week or two to get that listing into the ground. Then you got to go through offers. I mean, it takes months for you to get paid for the work that you're doing. And the problem with number 10 is this. Most people getting in this industry have an addiction to instant gratification. They want to run one Facebook ad, do one open house, call one for sale by owner, knock on one expired listings door. They want to post one video and expect results. That is not how this business works. You're not going to get a paycheck every single Friday. Okay? You have to build a pipeline that takes time to turn over, that takes time to manifest and turn into opportunities. And so if you're going to win in this business, you've got to get rid of your addiction to dopamine, get rid of your addiction to instant gratification, and start putting a lot of value into patience, putting a lot of value in delaying the gratification. And so those are the top 10, and they're in no order of importance. Next week, we're going to look at the other 11. Let me know of these 10 problems so far in part 1 of this series. What's the one that you struggle with the most? And like always, if you need any coaching or help through any of these things, of course, I'll put a link. You can schedule a one-on-one coaching consultation with my team, learn more about our coaching program, decide if it's something that makes sense for you or not. And then hopefully you guys got value from today's video. If you did, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the like button, and then I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate all the support.